regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Madam Board Secretary, can you please take roll?
Trustee Buelna. Trustee Henderson.
Here.
Trustee Hernandez. Trustee Hoffman.
Here.
Trustee Eno.
Here.
Trustee Vella.
Here.
Trustee Vettis.
Here.
Trustee Student Petite Banham.
Present. Thank you. We'll have VP Eno lead us in the flag salute. Thank you. Now on to item B. The First Amendment and the Brown Act guarantee a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee or public official in the performance of their duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than on private or unrelated matters. Speakers are reminded that the Brown Act and First Amendment do not protect defamatory statements made, which may subject the speaker to personal liability. Are there any members of the public signed up to address the Board of Trustees for regular agenda items?
Yes, ma'am. We have three. Yes, ma'am, we have three.
Okay, so first up, we'll call Mr. Rolando Cuevas. When you're ready, you'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We all knew the day was coming. The only question was when and why. We have the answer to when. Hallelujah. The real question is why. Francisco, we all knew, sold his soul to a handful of trustees, mainly Trustee Steve Harris. Everyone knows that the Chancellor Rodriguez operated with impunity because of Harris and Hoffman's protection by bullying other fellow trustees throughout the years. Trustee Harris, can you please tell the entire district what you know? It's only fair. But then again, you don't know the definition of fair. I want to thank everyone that has stood up and has spoken out loudly against all the wrongdoing while the board has been complicit. Rodriguez's failures, employees, mainly women of color, have suffered the consequences of retaliation, losing their jobs. Let me see what else they have suffered. Investigations for standing up for what was right. I want to thank the Academic Senate who decided to take the mantle of fighting for the injustice even when they were told to stay in their lane. Thank you to the Los Angeles Times for exposing the real stories happening at LACCD, and I could assure you there will be more exposés coming in a time of elections, and I've always said it, don't lose your careers for a chancellor, but you guys chose to do what you got to do. The real abuser of power is Steve Harris. Steve Harris, in time, you will be stepping down in disgrace. And now you can no longer walk around this town slandering everybody, how we're crazy, how we're corrupt, because in time, the truth will come to light. In closing, I'm asking Jay McKeever, the most powerful guy in the district, to join me in asking the board to stop wasting precious money and paying for all these expensive law firms that are costing us millions and millions of dollars. If we're going to continue doing that, then I recommend during budget time that we cut the entire legal department at LACCD and just outsource our legal department, since we're already paying $8 to $9 million. Plus, not including all the losses. Okay, if our internal lawyers can't do their job, why do we have them? Hire an expert to work in our district. It's simple, it's cheaper. So my recommendation is get rid of the legal department. If they can't do their job to defend the district and the taxpayers, and we have to waste all that money, especially with budget 25, 26, Ms. Calvino, I'm gonna pray for you, because when you become board president, you're gonna see the disaster left by Chancellor Rodriguez, because in 25, 26, it's gonna be hideous to be around. The only reason we're in the positive this year is the COVID money. Everybody knows it. So God bless you guys. Have a great day.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
Lupe.
Cuevas.
Madam
Next up-
Chair, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have Greg Mazzarella. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm here. My name is Greg Mazzarella. I work in HR in the district office. One of the things I wanted to recognize is, hopefully I won't be taking away the Chancellor's comments, but for Joan Grimes is retiring. She spent 20 years in the district. And she, she's a remarkable individual that was conscientious, and she dedicated countless hours making sure that people were paid correctly. She had one of those jobs that, you can get paid 99.9999% of the people correctly, but the 1% or the 1 or 2 people and get the wrong attention. She really did work tirelessly. One of the things during COVID, she was in almost every day in the office because she had to take care of payroll. Payroll never stops. So she had to access all the things that she needed to do. She needed to come in with her staff. She led her staff, and in conjunction with IT, one of the things she did, because she was 13 years as a payroll manager, she was able to make SAP a stable system. People are getting paid correctly and on time. And one of the things you don't see, she's there in the background. She's had to do a myriad of things, and she led her team, and in conjunction with IT and then as well as HR, able to ensure that you had contractual changes, COLAs, changes to tax law, changes to basic law, making sure that quotas are correct for law and contracts, just a myriad of things to try to do and implement. And so just wanted to recognize her. I personally appreciate, she's not here today, but appreciate working with her, and we'll miss her a lot, but she'll be able to move on to her next part of her life and do one of the things she loves to do is travel. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Andrew Walzer.
Greetings. My name is Andrew Walzer. I teach humanities at Los Angeles City College. I'm Miss Burke. You were there. Okay. I'm speaking. I'm a member of AFT 1521. I'm speaking in support of a resolution to defend health and safety setback regulations and to endorse the campaign for a healthy and safe California, a crucial step towards a healthier and safer community. This is a resolution on your board agenda, and it relates to a bill SB 1137, which was supported by, which was passed by the governor, but the oil companies sought to oppose it with initiative, and you guys were just about to support a resolution in favor of it when the oil companies pulled back the initiative due to public pressure. But you're going on record today, I hope, in support of this resolution to have setbacks, community setbacks around oil and gas wells. And this is a great initiative because it protects our students and it protects ourselves. None of us want to live next to an oil well. That's what I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Madam Board Secretary, anybody else?
No, we're good.
Okay, thank you. Now on to item C. The Los Angeles Community College District recognizes that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, Tataviam, Serrano, Quiche, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants, past, present, and emerging, as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. We acknowledge that settler colonization resulted in land seizure, disease, subjugation, slavery, relocation, broken promises, genocide, and multi-generational trauma. This acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of LA County. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work and to teach and educate on these ancestral lands. We're dedicated to growing and sustaining relationships with Native peoples and local tribal governments, including the Ferdinando Tataviam Band of Mission Indians, the Gabrielino Tongva Indians of California Tribal Council, the Gabrielino Tongva San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians, the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians Quiche Nation, the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, and the San Fernando Band of Mission Indians. Before we proceed, Madam Deputy Chancellor, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we do have, thank you, President Henderson. We request to pull 4 items from the agenda. S5 from the consent calendar for business professional agreements. Z4 from the notices and informatives, and human resources items FF1 and FF2. These items will be brought back at a future board meeting.
Thank you. Colleagues, may I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda and order of business with the requested amendment?
So moved.
Moved by VP Eno. Second by Henderson. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Bayham's advisory vote. Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella.
Yeah.
Trustee Vettis.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting in closed session from July 10th, 2024?
So moved.
Moved by VP Eno,
Second.
second by Hernandez. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Bayham's advisory vote. Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Next, we have a special video presentation. The Office of Legislative and Government Relations proudly presents I Am LACCD Advocacy.
There is no community college district that serves more students who are low income. Education moves people out of intergenerational poverty. Students who are undocumented, experiencing foster care. Students who are coming out of the justice system. Students who are veterans. With understanding who we serve comes a significant responsibility to shape policy and agenda, legislation, advocacy, and ultimately budget support, because we're a publicly funded institution. And the process of legislation, advocacy, helps us to build a narrative, to tell a story, to make a compelling case for support.
And I didn't know if I would be able to afford it, and I didn't want to go into crippling debt.
I don't think I can afford college either, and I've heard how expensive it can be. I thought the person I was just the person I was going to be forever, you know? Working temp jobs and getting paid just the minimum, being fired every other week, like just trying to find another job. It's not easy having to deal with stuff like that, you know, especially when you're the only person supporting your family. It's really tough. But then they told me about the college promise, and I was like, wow, that sounds like a good deal. Once you sign up for it, and you start your first semester, you'll be covered. You don't have to worry about having to pay for the classes. And it'll be like that for like the next 2 years.
It gives you 2 years free, like it gives you a chance at college. Just have to have a high school diploma or GED equivalent, and you do have to be a California resident.
A lot of students can't afford college, you know, I'm one of those students. You know, I thought like, that's a lot of money.
One of my favorite things about College Promise is just the different like incentives they have. We host a bunch of cool little workshops to really engage our students and to build that community with them.
First step, like It's taken care of. Like, don't worry about it.
For me, college promise, open the doors to higher education.
I never understood what the college promise was promising, but I know it's promising that you have a chance. We're so lucky to be given this kind of opportunity.
We are all in this together, whether you are directly involved or not. We've opened our doors to people that we probably would have never seen before.
The California Center for Climate Change Education here at West LA College is the first of its kind. We are offering multiple certifications and an associate's degree. We're leading the way.
Here at West Los Angeles College, the dental hygiene programs, our main focus, we are specialists in periodontal health.
At its core, what we're learning at the center is advocating for climate justice.
We're getting just as good of a experience and education as you would at an Ivy League school.
Feel very fortunate to be able to, receive education basically for free.
Choosing to go the community college route was the only choice for me. I couldn't afford to go through university.
Giving those students who come from low socioeconomic background or who have struggled to gain their higher education the opportunity to be the people that lead this change.
Every career is a climate career.
You can come out of this program with a bachelor's in only 2 years, which I think is an amazing opportunity, especially to receive it from a community college. I have a job already given to me because there is such a shortage of dental hygienists in the field.
We offer, of course, a bachelor's degree in aviation and a bachelor's degree in dental hygiene. Bachelor's degree in climate change, it's in the works.
Like these programs, when we help students anytime, it just makes me feel so fulfilled.
I can do it, so can you.
Everyone became my best friends. I owe everything to this opportunity.
What makes what we do so important is that we can change lives for generations to come.
So being from the Midwest, I kind of always seen Los Angeles as like the place to be. And I kind of just packed up and moved here with $400 in my bank account. I lived in my car for 6 months, and homelessness is a real thing out here.
I wanted to learn more, to grow more. How do you do that when the biggest concern on your plate at the time is whether or not you're going to have a roof over your head? I might have given up.
Being trans, being queer, having been homeless, the fact that I'm considered an inherent equal, no questions asked. I don't have to prove myself. When in every aspect of my life, I've had to prove myself, prove my worthiness, prove I'm sick enough, prove I need financial aid. Here, I don't have to grovel. I don't have to beg because they recognize my inherent worth.
Not only did they help me financially, they've helped me with all type of resources. I was homeless living in my car while pregnant. So when LACC was, we could help you get better grades, help you with whatever happened in the past, gas, electricity, rent, food. When I tell you I didn't have food, because I was only giving it to my daughter. I want to cry.
24 hours a day. How am I going to live? How am I going to survive? They reminded me that I'm human and that what I was currently experiencing was not outside of the human experience. More than anything, it was about being seen.
And now I'm house secure and I'm excelling at school. Education is power. LACC has seriously boosted me up. This is where I'm meant to be. I'm so grateful for City Cares Network. And I just want people to chase their dreams.
LACC has really changed my life, not just mine, but my kids, because now I'm graduating and I'm looking forward to transfer to a university, becoming a lawyer maybe. I'm very grateful.
And I am eternally grateful.
At LACC and in the community college district, and create hope for their students when there doesn't seem to be any hope. They can help you find that hope, harness it, and use it to create a future for yourself.
So we're currently in the process of figuring out how we can build housing on our campus, deeply affordable housing for our students while they're attending school at LACCD.
Advocacy is fighting. It's standing up for what you believe to be right. It's making sure that your voice is heard.
Creating a system where they can come to the college, feel that they belong.
Advocating on a state and federal level for the dollars to be able to make that happen.
Education is an emancipatory tool for liberation.
I am
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Community college.
Community college.
Comunitario.
Community college.
정말 college 남.
커뮤니티 칼리지 지구의
Community college district.
Community College District.
I am Los Angeles
Community College District.
I am Los Angeles Community College District Advocacy.
Thank you for that. I want to give a huge shout out to Maria Veloz and our legislative team. So now, do any members of our resource table wish to be recognized at this time?
I'm Jeffrey Hernandez, First Vice President, District Academic Senate. Good afternoon, President Henderson, Vice President Eno Hernandez, and the rest of the board and Deputy Chancellor. Years ago, as the Academic Senate Vice President of East Los Angeles College, I was a representative for the District Academic Senate, the DAS, on a joint task force to develop procedures for hiring adjunct faculty. We had hit a stumbling block that we ultimately were able to overcome due in part to a phone conversation I had with the Chancellor. We discussed a concern we both share, how to advance diversity in the ranks of faculty hires. As we engaged in a very collegial and constructive conversation, I was ecstatic that we had a Chancellor giving this cause the attention it needed. And I recalled how this was in line with his inspiring remarks at the investiture ceremony at East Los Angeles College at the start of his tenure. There have been many advancements under the leadership of Chancellor Francisco Rodriguez. And in light of his upcoming retirement, I want to publicly extend, on behalf of the DAS, our sincere appreciation for the many positive developments he has fostered in our district and ultimately for our students. Board members and Deputy Chancellor, you know you can count on the DAS to do its due diligence and make recommendations, particularly when controversial matters arise. We saw this last year when, along with other constituencies, we spoke out when it came to the board deviating from the Title V guidance on the selection of college presidents. Naturally, we appreciated the board's response in the form of a resolution adopted in October, establishing a shared governance task force to provide input on the presidential selection process. From a conversation with Francisco and Kathleen earlier this summer, I feel assured that the board's direction will be manifest in an updated administrative procedures. We, and I'm sure the other constituencies, look forward to receiving the final draft of that draft AP revision. And of course, the DAS took on the tough job of recommending decisive action when public controversies arose regarding the handling of sexual harassment, as well as procurement and financial matters. From the multitude of voices amongst the faculty ranks, we were hearing that faculty had lost confidence in the ability of the district to adequately address these matters. We took action in December And after 6 months of resolutions and communications in May, we concluded that there had been insufficient progress to our recommendations, and we adopted a vote of no confidence with respect to combating sexual harassment and addressing procurement and financial irregularities. But let's be clear. At the core of our recommendations has been the request for external review of processes and practices. It was a months-long resistance to our reasonable call for external review that explains the vote of no confidence in our district leadership in these two policy areas. But yes, we are appreciative that the board acted in June to have Coase and O'Connor conduct an audit pertaining to sexual harassment complaints. Coase and O'Connor is an outside firm that does not ordinarily do business with the district and is well known for its work assessing and improving institutional responses to sexual harassment and other forms of discrimination and bias. Their work assessing the CSU system earns them the credibility for independent external review that our resolution had called for. Sadly, with respect to procurement, the same cannot be said. Indeed, comments made at the July board meeting were disheartening for several reasons, but most importantly, there was no appreciation for our call for independent external review, certainly not the blue ribbon panel we had recommended. Instead, we learned the results from a review arranged by the OGC. Again, the resistance to our call for a blue ribbon panel to review procurement processes is very concerning. We asked for external review to help shore up confidence in the district's handling of procurement and financial matters. So I'm going to take a moment to use my poli-sci background to help us appreciate the merits of having independent parties conduct external review by considering an analogy to something that's happening in another country right now. Indeed, right now, protests continue in Venezuela over the presidential election that many feel was a sham. The party in power proposes to settle the question by having the Supreme Court review what happened with the election. Problem being that the party in power controls the majority of the Supreme Court there. So the review would not be independent. By contrast, international observers like the Carter Center have found that the election did not meet international standards and cannot be considered democratic. I hope the takeaway from this analogy of what's happening in Venezuela is understood to point out the value of independent external review and that it should not be resisted but welcomed. My wife and I were fortunate to serve as international observers on behalf of IBEW during the 1994 Mexican presidential election. For those who are familiar with the political story, political trajectory in Mexico, you know that that election was the first to really get the international credibility of being an election that you can count on the results. And it was in large part due to the welcoming of independent external review from international observers. We can take a couple more lessons from considering the outcomes resulting from democratic practice. In a democratic system, we have freedom of speech and are not punished for advocacy as they are in, let's say, Russia and other authoritarian regimes. It truly is beneath the leadership of this district to have faculty targeted for investigation, suspension, and removal, stemming from their willingness to speak out. I implore you to use your leadership authority to stop those practices immediately. Finally, we must do more to advance gender equity. It really does feel like exciting times, doesn't it? That we may see the first female president and Black and Asian American to boot. The first female US president. Perhaps we'll catch up to Mexico, right? But certainly, the excitement surrounding the possibility should remind us that we should do all that we can do, go beyond mere compliance and ensure a culture that supports gender equity in all its forms. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good afternoon. Today, I want to focus my message on the recent news of Chancellor Rodriguez's retirement. I'm sorry to hear about your father's ailing health. I want to take a moment to personally thank the Chancellor for his leadership and focus on one monumental decision that changed the lives of many of our faculty forever. After months of our union bringing adjunct speakers to discuss their hardships of living without health care, the Chancellor approached me with a courageous spirit and said, "Let's form a work group and get this healthcare done. He did not say, let's begin a negotiation. He said, let's get it done. Healthcare should be a human right. It should not just be the privilege of the wealthy and those lucky enough to have an employer that offers it. Since the inception of this district, those we call part-time faculty who often worked full-time hours and more without it. Forever, most of our faculty could not afford to ensure that they and their families could take care of their medical needs, but no longer. We assembled our team and prepared for a fight. Our union's VP, Bill Ellerton, who's here today, had prepared a complete document outlining what we wanted. We even tried to address the significant and genuine concern of what would happen if the state did not fully reimburse the district or ran out of money by adding a clause that in that case, we could go back to the way we had it before. We were ready for a battle, but there was no fight. We had a brief discussion and the district representatives took our proposal, crunched some numbers, and said they would get back to us. The district came back with a better proposal than our initial offer. The district's offer ensured that even if the state does not come through, our adjuncts could at least cover themselves at no cost under our more affordable plans, making this the best agreement in the state. Before you dismiss this act in a cynical and disingenuous way, saying it was a no-brainer since the state promised reimbursement, tell that to the majority of districts throughout the state still fighting for this basic human right. This required a leap of faith and leadership. This was one of the most historic decisions for our guild and this district. And we have a lot to be proud of and a lot to be grateful for. Thank you, Chancellor Rodriguez, for your leadership and for this life-changing action. You should remember that moment as one of your signature accomplishments. Thank you for hiring more than 900 full-time faculty, the initiatives you created for students of color, and placing so many women in high-level administrative positions in our district. My best to you and your family. I would be remiss if I did not also thank this board for its leadership as well in this process. I have warned that this is a tough time to change leadership as we go into uncertain enrollments, local and state budget issues. I hope that we can stop the political infighting and posturing long enough to do what's right for our students, community, and workers in our district. I hope all bargaining units will be part of all decision-making processes and our voices are not just heard, but considered. This is the time to come together and find and support an interim chancellor and eventually a long-term leadership that we deserve and I am hopeful for our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, members of the board, and good afternoon to the audience at home. My name is Bruce Hicks for the record. I am the SEIU 721 president, and I'm coming with a couple of updates. So I got some great information, some great news. I'm talking to our CMAs who are now, a number of them have now been engrafted into the SEIU 721. So I want to applaud them for that. So wonderful thing being a part of a labor unit. So now they get to be a part. So we're bringing in 53 of the members and 21 different classifications. And we signed that MOU on the 1st. There were some issues with the communication as far as the information was given about our membership, but we since took care of that issue. So we're going to be reaching out to you. I've already reached out to some of you on the phone, text, email, but we'll be reaching out to you for a very important reason. One, we're going to have some membership meetings so we can tell you about the benefits of being in a great union like SEIU 721. And we're also having on August 15 a candidate forum for 4 of the board of trustee members are here that are up for re-election. Of course, we want you to be a part of that. So we will be getting that information out to you. But That's all I have to say today. Thank you, and I'll see some of you on the 15th as well as some of our SEIU 721 members at that candidate forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Well, good afternoon, President Henderson, members of the board, Deputy Chancellor Burke. For the record, I'm Deborah Harrington. I'm president of the Teamsters, representing our district deans. First, I'd very much like to extend our congratulations and best wishes to Reuben Smith and Joan Grimes and recognize their service to our district. In particular, because I've been at the district for a really long time, Joan Grimes has done amazing things, and I really appreciate and getting that check every month. I definitely appreciate that, but in considering the size of our district, she's just done amazing things, and I'm really glad that Greg got an opportunity to really highlight that. Today, my remarks in keeping with the launch of our new academic year focuses primarily on looking ahead and on appreciating our district's ongoing commitment to student access, success, equity, and completion. And in so keeping, and in speaking not just from a Teamsters perspective, but from my particular role as the district's dean for student success, as you may know, I'm the administrative lead over College Promise, and I just wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude, in particular to Chancellor Rodriguez, for his unwavering support and commitment to College Promise. It would never have happened without that. And just to recognize what a legacy that is. We have students in College Promise, they're completing degree certificates transfer at almost 30% now, which is something I have never seen. And I've been in this district since '96. And it's really something for us all to be proud of, because it's making a difference in the lives of our students, as we could see in that video. And I also just want to hope for all of us to know that you can count on the deans to do everything that we can to make this fall semester successful. We know we're going into some challenging times, but we are committed to that thing that we keep talking about. We are committed to delivering excellence for students in this district. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good afternoon. Well, Andrea Edwards, AFT 5211A president. Good afternoon, President Henderson, to the trustees. And I'd like to also reiterate those sentiments that this is one of the most progressive boards. And I appreciate you, and I want to say that, and getting the opportunity to get to know you and be a rapport. And so AFT 1521 stands behind the progressive movement. In saying that, I also do want to acknowledge the legacy of Chancellor Rodriguez and what he has done, and being the longest standing from my history, my research. So I do want to take the time to do that as well. Yeah, reiterating the CMA, Classified Manager Association, coming into the 1521A unit as well. That is something we're excited about, but we want people that are active. So under my leadership, my whole goal is membership engagement and really bringing those issues to you guys that have been thoroughly vetted. And so, like I said, last board meeting, we have started to do the research on certain issues that we do want to kind of work out and make sure that we bring. So we're fighting for classified issues. We know there are challenging times coming ahead, but in that, we still want to reiterate that classified are educators too. There is no silos. We really are committed to doing the work and rolling up our sleeves. In doing so, we do want to bring those unique challenges to you guys when it comes to creating balance. Okay, so balance in all things. And I know it's a tricky conversation to talk about. Even how we support our student workers, we're looking for support and boundaries to be filtered in and balanced in. Looking at classified positions, you get tuition reimbursement. There are so many perks. Classified isn't a second standing citizenship position here. It is actually one that is student facing. And it gives us the ability to watch our students graduate at a higher rate and engage their lives and impact them. It's one thing to create policies and resources. It's another thing for us to educate on how those work. I remember, and I'll leave with this, at one student come in and you can tell he was very hesitant. I was working at East LA College, and he got up, he walked out, and I chased him out of the room. And sometimes that's what it takes. And I said, why are you walking out? I saw you starting that application. He said, I'm not gonna do this. I got a lot of things I got going. I'm an entrepreneur. I said, that's great. Giving out laptops. Why don't you get your people to come get one of these laptops too? And that's how you build business. So I always tell people college is it's a business. If you come in it with a business mind, it opens up doors, it changes legacy. It is the great equalizer if done right. So needless to say, chasing that student down and educating him and bringing him back into the fold, that's what Classified do. That student has graduated. I'm not gonna give his name, but he definitely had some swag, how he pimped out that room and pimped right back on in. So it takes for us to have cultural competency to speak to these students. So there's one thing about policy, but we put those in play. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees and Dr. Burks. My name is Chris Ozie. I represent STAU Local 99. I just want to say congratulations to everyone that's retiring. It's been a pleasure working with you. I have a couple of items that I would like to address with this board today. The first item I would like to bring to your attention is the implementation of an attendance policy that has not been board approved. Our STAU Local 99 members are being reprimanded and disciplined by STAU 721 managers and supervisors with this attendance policy that cannot be found in any LACCD board rule, yet is labeled LACCD board policy. Not only does this policy conflict with our bargaining contract agreement, it does not align with our with the PC rules and state laws. And there was no agreement with the district and Local 99 to implement this policy. This attendance policy is being used to only target custodial staff in this district and no one else in this district, which is discriminatory. And we are demanding that this practice be stopped immediately. And the other topic I would like to address has to do with our members working in unsafe and hazardous working conditions. Lately, we have been enduring extreme hot weather temperatures, especially at some campuses such as Valley, Mission, and Pierce, where they're experiencing triple digits. And it was brought to my attention that custodial supervisors are having our members work inside buildings that have no AC running inside the building. And while it's triple digits outside, and this is unacceptable. Not only does this put our members at risk for heat strokes or exhaustion, it just shows the lack of concern for the well-being of our members. And we just ask that in a situation like this, that our members' assignments are modified, where their duties are modified to prevent any heat-related issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Student Trustee Bayham, could you please summarize the proceedings of your Student Affairs Committee from July 12th?
Well, we didn't make quorum, so we did an informal meeting, just discussing some of the issues that were going on each of our campuses, but we're looking forward to making quorum this Friday.
Okay, thank you. Colleagues, may I have a motion and a second on item F2, which is board travel authorization?
So moved.
Moved by Eno. Second by Hernandez. Roll call, please.
Student Trustee Bayham's advisory vote. Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella.
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Now may I have a motion and a second on item G1, which is the resolution in support of California Proposition 2.
So moved.
Moved by Eno. Second by Hernandez. Roll call, please.
Student Trustee Bayham's advisory vote. Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you, colleagues. Now, may I have a motion and a second on item G2, which is the resolution to defend health and safety setback regulations and endorse the campaign for a healthy and safe California?
So moved. I'll second.
Second.
Moved by Eno, second by Hoffman.
Trustee Henderson, can I make a quick statement on this item? This was a piece of legislation that was passed a few years back and was attempted to be through a ballot measure process removed from the books of the state of California. And as this item went forward, essentially a coalition of oil companies had decided to withdraw their ballot measure and in turn seek a legal challenge to the item. And so initially this was placed as support of a ballot measure. We of course have significant oil adjacent to a few of our campuses, one in particular on the West LA. But these were standards of setback, standards of notification, standards that are in place, but going through a court process. So the resolution was more tailored to understand that these are important notification and elements that were added during the legislative process to assist schools and colleges. But I do want to be clear that it went from a ballot measure a few weeks back into a legal challenge now. And so the resolution does really reflect that it is essentially to stand on the line of supporting continuing with SB 1137 as part of law.
Thank you. Colleagues, any other comments? All right. So roll call, please.
I
Student-
actually do have something to say. Is it just like a notification to be sent out to, what exactly is it?
It's a whole list of procedures that deal with anytime any oil company comes into an area that begins attempting to explore drilling as a possibility. And for the most part, it revolves around notification and setbacks. The further away you have to go.
So there was
from
no
communities.
front loading and for those oil wells got there, or?
Front loading, can you explain?
Yeah, like, so how, there was no, like, the environmental lawyers didn't do all of that before they started? Is that what I'm?
That continues and it's part of a normal CEQA process and procedure, but this just says that you have to be further back. There has to be more information. It's trying to create a greater separation. And so it builds upon the existing law to give us some more space away from the kinds of toxic emissions that can come from some of the drilling areas.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Bayham's advisory vote.
Abstain.
Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella.
Good.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. May I now have a motion on and a second on item G3, which is a resolution celebrating Labor and Labor Day on September 2nd, 2024.
So moved.
Moved by Eno, second by Hernandez. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Bayham's advisory vote.
Abstain.
Trustee Boulna.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez. Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella.
Yeah.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you, colleagues. And now we'll turn to Deputy Chancellor Burke for the Chancellor's report.
Thank you, President Henderson. We could have the next slide. This is a rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. There'll be an enrollment update. We want to talk, I want to announce Super Saturday, which is this Saturday at all of the colleges. And then opening day, we hope you'll be able to join us at one of the colleges on August 22nd. And then we'll look at the district milestones coming in 2024, 25, and then wrap up with the certificates of recognition for our retiring and departing employees. So starting with the summer credit enrollment date. So this is not non-credit. We don't get to non-credit until the semesters are over and the positive attendance is collected. So this is as of day 49 of the semester. Student head count was down by 5%, enrollment overall down by 6%. class offerings remained basically unchanged. So enrollment per section is also down by roughly 6%. 66% of the classes were taught remotely. That's typical during the summer because it's the point where we offer most of our bread and butter classes. So a lot of them are quite successful, taught in an online version. 27% are in person and 7% hybrid. As you can see, the scheduling also follows the fill rates, with 71% of the remote classes filling, 66% of the hybrid, and 57%. So this is filling compared to number of students enrolled compared to the total open seats. A word about what happened. In the second 8 weeks of spring, we were hit pretty hard by robot enrollment, or bot enrollment as they call it. And so we put in a lot of measures, particularly during the summer. So this is extensive work done throughout the summer by Vice Chancellor Alba Lopez, by Vice Chancellor Lids, and by Associate Vice Chancellor Regalado. So we owe a lot of thanks to them, along with the college presidents. College presidents were consulted along the way. We tried to do our best here at the ESC to provide relief to the colleges for the amount of work that's been required of both the deans and the faculty in authenticating students and enrollment. So all of these processes and procedures were put through collegially. We put in place a way to ensure that our students who enroll are verified as being actual students. This is absolutely a best practice. As the bot enrollment continues to be a feature of higher education throughout the nation, believe me, the U.S. Department of Education is looking at this. So we need to be prepared to have an answer for how we dealt with these issues. So it did impact our summer in particular, because we were putting the measures in place as in some cases, as the summer was moving along. We were building the plane while it was in flight. And let's look at the fall enrollment. So fall enrollment, this is as of 28 days before the start of the semester. So there's certainly still time to enroll. The credit head, again, this is only credit. Credit head count is down by 2%. Enrollment is down by 3%. The offerings remain relatively unchanged, so flat. Enrollment per section is down by 6. And then you see the breakdown, 44% being taught remotely, 48% in person, and 8% hybrid. This is basically how we've been running over the last couple of years, with about a 50-50 split between online and in-person classes. Again, the remote classes have the highest fill rate at this point. That may look low, but remember, we still have a few more weeks before the semester starts, and then followed by in-person and the hybrid classes. So questions about enrollment?
Colleagues, any questions?
Yes, Dr. When you say relatively unchanged?
It means we're offering about the same number of sections that we offered last year in the fall semester.
About?
Oh, that number I don't have.
Okay.
Broken down by college. So each college is offering about the same number of sections. Dr. Alba Lopez can look that up for me quickly.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Do we know statewide what's happening? Is enrollment dipping a little bit? Or do we have any of those numbers?
I think it's continued to dip. We've been trending in the growth mode over the last couple of years. So I think if we're following more of the state trend now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, on to the next item. So you can join us at any of the 9 colleges where students can participate in a variety of events to get them started. And that would be at the Super Saturday this Saturday, August 10th. So all of the colleges will have events. All right. Now, the district milestones. LA Mission College turns 50 this year and will have its kickoff on August 22nd. the Harbor College Gala will celebrate their 75th year on October 10th at the Elks Lodge, and Los Angeles Trade Technical College, which is the oldest college in the district, is turning 100 this year. And they will no doubt have events throughout the year to celebrate that milestone. Okay, and the next item. So in light of the fact that we're losing a few individuals to go to other positions, or in Joan Grimes' case, to move on to retirement, we wanted to present these certificates for Joan in grateful appreciation for 20 years of effective leadership and mentorship as the manager of payroll and retirement. She has ensured all of these years, as you heard, that we get paid on time. And so it is a complex job with multiple tax systems, with multiple retirement systems, as well as individual savings and other deductions that people do that are all individualized. So we will definitely miss her, but certainly wish her the best as she moves forward to this new phase of her life. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here with us today, so we will make sure that she does get her certificate. And then we would like to also thank gratefully Dr. Reuben Smith for all of his dedication here. Also for the students and for the employees who have been able to work in these wonderful spaces that we are designing and building to ensure our education and our mission is met, which is essentially the education of all of the many students that come to us. So we have a great deal of appreciation for all of the work that he has done. And I will just say in closing, and we'll take a picture with Reuben, certainly, that regardless of what's happening, the work carries on. And our work is ensuring that our students are successful and achieve their goals and move forward into the world of work or on to their four-year education. So I know you all join me in that, and we will be strong through this period of transition to ensure that we meet our mission serving students. So thank you.
Thank you. So we'll take this time to present Dr. Smith with a certificate and take some pictures. And we have snacks out in the foyer. From what I understand, Ms. Gordon is not here. So please, even in her absence, snacks out there.
No. Always better.
Have a meeting. I know, very heavy. Thank you for the indulgence, everyone. Yeah. So we have the producer of that lovely legislative video here with us. I think he's out in the foyer. If you all will indulge us a little more, I'd like to have him come and say a few words.
I was indulged.
It was. It was. That was part of it.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is PK Ziania. I produced the video that was shown earlier. Thank you. Oh. Well, I should be giving a round of applause to all of you for inviting me, especially Maria. She gave me the opportunity and more importantly, gave me her trust to let me do what I needed to do. So thank you to Madam President and the Vice Presidents and the Chancellor who are all in the video. I think the timing, I just found out about the Chancellor's resignation, so I think the timing was great to memorialize his long tenure here and his efforts. For me, I was, wondering how I was going to go over in this boardroom because these environments are somewhat antiseptic. No disrespect, just it's business here to a certain extent. So I started to become moved as I was watching the video, hearing the stories again, even though I've seen it so many times. And conducted the interview. So I was really happy to feel that others in the room, be told by others in the room that they also feel the same way. So I just very, want to give a special thanks to the students because that's their story. And I think if we can humanize it, put some heart to it, there's a lot of things that are being talked about sometimes need that to get over with the general population or the legislature. So we know that these are real humans living sometimes really trying times, and that's what we're here for, right? So thank you guys, and appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you. So now, colleagues, we have our review of the combined consent calendar for items J1 through W12. These items include consent calendars for Human Resources, Personnel Commission, Academic Affairs, and Student Affairs, Budget and Finance, Business, and Facilities. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the combined consent calendar for items J1 through W2 with the exception of item S5?
So moved.
Moved by Eno.
Second.
Second by Hernandez. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Bayham's advisory vote. Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez. Trustee Hoffman. Trustee Eno. Yes. Trustee Vella.
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Now, colleagues, may I have a motion and a second to adopt business items X1 through 14?
So moved.
Moved by Eno. Second by Hernandez. Colleagues, are there any items that you'd like to have pulled or reviewed? No? All right. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Bayham's advisory vote. Trustee Welna.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman. Trustee Eno. Trustee Vella.
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you. And now may I have a motion and a second to adopt facilities items Y1 through Y2?
So moved.
Thank you. Moved by Vella.
Second.
Second by Eno. Are there any items that colleagues would like to have pulled or have any questions about? Okay, roll call, please.
Student trustee Bayham's advisory vote. Trustee Boulna.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez. Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno. Yes. Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so colleagues, we have 3 notice reports and informatives. We have a notification of out-of-state travel, board policy 3433, board policy 3540. There's no action required at this time, but are there any questions? Okay. And now to the exciting part. Do any of my colleagues have any announcements or any future proposed actions? Go ahead.
I just wanted to give a brief legislative monthly report because we are almost at the end of the cycle and there are some really great things that we are working on thanks to Maria and the legislative team, which is pretty much Maria. So anyways, just for everyone, you know, we do take proposals now until end of September. So if you have any ideas on legislation or policy that you would like to author yourself or ideas that you want to propose to the team, then we really appreciate it. We did have 4 that are almost through, fingers triple crossed. So, you know, the work that we do at LACCD is really effective and important. And not only does it support us at the district level, but it supports us at the state level and the community college system as a whole. And I'm really grateful to PK and Maria for crafting that wonderful video because it really does highlight the great work that we have done here on a legislative level and how effective we've been. So please remember the worksheet. We have 3 federal congressional projects totaling 3.7 million for community projects of housing appropriations, transportation, housing, urban development. And then also there is the House's approval validates our project ensures of our federal support of our initiatives, which is community engagement and enrichments at LA Pierce College for $850,000, LA Harbor Center for Community Engagement and Workforce at $850,000, and the Los Angeles Mission College Pacoima Center land acquisition project, which I know we're working on finding out additional information for up to $2 million. At the state level, like I said, we have 4 legislative measures that are that will significantly benefit the community college system, and they've moved through pretty smoothly, even during this fiscal crisis time. And so it's been a very remarkable, amazing thing to see and witness. And it's SB 895, which is the Roth bachelor's degree program for our nursing, but possibly to have a nursing program, bachelor degree nursing programs at the community college level. AB 2093 in Santiago to offer free tuition to extend the promise to the people getting their baccalaureates. AB 2931 from Fong for part-time tutor bills to allow our part-time students to work as tutors, and AB 3142 Jones Sawyer to support the great work that we've done at West LA College for the climate change bill. So we look forward to continuing our really positive I guess, record. And thank you for all the work that all of you have done, because I know you've showed up, testified, written and supported, and just showed up and created really hospitable places at your campuses for them to want to support the great work that we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, anyone else? Okay. So now on to item BB. The First Amendment and the Brown Act guarantee a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee or public official in the performance of their duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than on private or unrelated matters. Speakers are reminded that the Brown Act and First Amendment do not protect defamatory statements made, which may subject the speaker to personal liability. We have one speaker to speak on matters not on the agenda, Mr. Daniel Judge.
Mr. Judge, please unmute yourself. Yeah, he's on Zoom, but he's not responding. Oh, he's coming in. Thank you. He's coming in. Oh, he's not changing. Mr. Judge? He's there, but he's probably away from his computer.
Is he having trouble unmuting?
No, I think he's just away from his computer. We expected him to call him about 3:30. It's 2:30. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, he declined. Okay. He declined, so he declined. Yeah, he declined on Zoom, so we can move on. Yeah, he declined, yeah.
Okay, now the board will recess to closed session in accordance with the Ralph M. Brown Act, Government Code Sections 54950, and the Ed Code to discuss matters on the posted closed session agenda pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.5. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn the closed session?
So moved.
Moved by Ina. Second by Hernandez. Roll call, please.
Student Bayham advisory vote.
Same.
Trustee Boulna.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez. Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis. Thank you.
General Counsel, is there an issue with recessing to closed session before 3:30?
So do we just keep the meeting open and then to come back and do this again? Okay. Okay, so the party continues.
All right. But can I make a
Well
suggestion for
deserved.
the future? For the future, can we just put closed session immediately following public session and then we resolve that problem? I mean, this never happens, but just for the future. Is that, yeah, thanks.
Okay, so at this point, disregard, we will recess into a reception for Dr. Ruben Smith and we'll reconvene for closed session at 3:30. And the reception is also for Joan in her absence.